Welcome. This is our Friday, February 12th edition of the Government News Brief. In the news, citizens will have to obey the laws. It will take time for the coalition government to fix the damage caused by the previous government, and immigration services to clamp down on illegal immigrants. With these and other stories, I am Azim Khan. Thank you for staying with us. This is the Government News Brief. The Public Security Ministry has taken a stance to ensure that the laws of Guyana are followed, thereby assuring safety for all citizens. Here is that story.
Guyanese can look forward to living in a safer country where their rights will be respected, especially by law enforcement officials.
That I took a stand against police torture, and nobody can deny that. I took a stand against drunken driving by ensuring that there is a curfew, which, by the way, is but the law. It was not using anything but the law. I took a stand to police our vast borders in association with the Office of the President, even if we had to use horses to do so. I took a stand bold and strong against illegal firearms and offered an amnesty. Even though partially successful, this was a stand nevertheless.
Based on research statistics, such a stance is needed if Guyana were to truly address the crime and violence that affect the nation.
This thing about these negatives in our society did not occur during the course of our stewardship from May last year. They were with us. And if we want to confront these issues with the full brunt of our intellect, it requires then us being frank about these figures and not in any way trying to twist facts to play the political football. No, it's not going to get us anywhere. And to that extent then, we have to, by virtue of getting these statistics, then analyzing them to find out what are the causes.
Whilst large sums of money were proposed in Budget 2016 to improve the operational capacity of the police force and the prison services, the ministry launched a US $15 million Citizen Security Strengthening Program. This program seeks to reduce crime and violence through a comprehensive approach and will address three specific problems, which are the high incidence of violent behavior at the community level, the low effectiveness of the police to prevent and investigate crime at the national level, and the higher number of repeat offenders. Government News Brief, Glendon, Greenwich.
The damage that has been done by the former government to this country cannot be rectified within the short pace of 8 months. In this report, you will hear Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Sidney Alicock, expounding on the issue.
I take this opportunity to apologize to the honorable members Harry Gill, Yvonne Pearson, and Ms. Pauline Sukai. I am truly sorry, sir, that as a government we were unable in 8 months in office to fix all the damage created by the PPP over the last 23 years.
The minister rebutted a few statements made by the political opposition, which he deemed as fabrications. Minister Alicock referred to mining blocks that were awarded by the former government, even though they were aware that those belonged to indigenous villages.
These awards were made after Kangaruma and Tasserine, for example, had applied for these lands to become their village lands. Yes. Mr. Speaker, these honorable members of the opposition were part of the team which participated in handing over worthless pieces of papers to Kangaruma and Tasserine. suggesting to the leaders of these communities that they were being handed land titles.
The minister also provided false documents which were presented to the communities by the former government officials. The minister noted that the present government is working assiduously to resolve all of the issues mentioned.
In light of the fact that thousands of foreign nationals remain in Guyana illegally, immigration services will be clamping down on this practice. Here's that story.
The law will be enforced against undocumented and illegal immigrants as they are a source of additional pressure on the resources of government, utilizing services such as health and education. Additionally, they pay no taxes.
Tacit approval of those in power a year and more ago had turned a blind eye to immigration abuses, and this coalition government is now putting that right. Every nation and every country has rules and laws that control and regulate people who come from other places. Mr. Speaker, unrecorded immigrants attract abuses primarily because they are illegal, having arrived in this country without satisfying the entry requirements, or they are allowed entry because of deception using forged documents. We must be alive to the consequences which naturally flow from our unrecorded immigrants. The result is the abominable crime of human trafficking. Many of the illegal immigrants end up in very dangerous situations, as they do not have proper documents to secure jobs, and as a consequence, they end up in unfortunate situations. The flow of illegal immigrants to Guyana is a result of the pull factor in certain developed countries. But stringent checks at certain ports have forced these illegal immigrants from those countries to use Guyana as a transit point. But unfortunately, quite a number remain in this country.
Investigations have revealed that over 5,300 undocumented illegal immigrants remain unaccounted for and continue to live in Guyana. The Immigration Department will devote additional manpower as efforts intensify to track down those illegals. Government News Brief, Glendon, Greenwich.
Government will prioritize the revision of the National Forest Policy following the discovery that the previous administration had given 100% of Guyana's productive forest in concessions. Here is that report.
Natural Resources Minister Raphael Trotman made this disclosure in his presentation during the 2016 National Budget debate last evening.
Much to our horror, Mr. Speaker, we discovered on assuming office that when asked the question, Mr. Speaker, total production forest areas available in Guyana, all 100% have been given out. All 100% of productive forests were shared out prior to us assuming government. Mr. Speaker, no, Mr. Speaker, it is unimaginable. This is what a former head of state would have referred to, Mr. Speaker, as confounded nonsense.
Questioning the rationale for handing out all of Guyana's productive forests as concessions, Trotman asked whether future generations of Guyanese are not entitled to share in Guyana's patrimony.
How could a responsible government preside over the allocation of all, not some, but all of its productive forests? What about future generations? Are they not entitled, Mr. Speaker, to share in the patrimony of the forest? In the context of the national patrimony, this, Mr. Speaker, is a threat to our long-term viability and to our security as a people.
The minister informed the House that the coalition government will be addressing this matter. In 2016, the Ministry of Natural Resources will commence a review of the existing policy. The updated policy will mark a significant shift in emphasis from the development of the timber potential of the national forest to management of the forest's multiple goods and services. With this Government News Brief, I'm Shanta Govardhan reporting.
Social Cohesion Minister Amna Ali is leading a national process that is geared to address exclusion and marginalization in society. It is her belief that with everyone involved, national unity will be achieved. Shanaza Low reports.
Creating a harmonious and unified environment for all Guyanese will become a reality, a promise reiterated by Social Cohesion Minister Amna Ali.
If we are to progress as a nation, Let us see ourselves as Guyanese, even though we may belong to different race groups. We have to move together as one. It would be nice if we as members of this National Assembly lead by example, by being the agents of this change.
However, she noted that all Guyanese must be committed and have an open mind in order that the stigma of ethnicity is removed from society.
We need everyone involved to make social cohesion work. However, we cannot continue in this unity, this harmony and division.
Diversities have caused disunity since in Guyana's colonial past. The administration is working to remove that unease by creating a sense of belonging and a comfortable environment for all.
We have come to the end of the government news brief for Friday, February 12, 2016. This is a photograph taken during the independence period, May 1966. If you are in this photograph, please give us a call on 226-6715 or 225-3119. We would certainly like to speak with you. The government news brief, along with all other GINA programs, can be found on our website. We are also on Facebook and YouTube. On behalf of all of us here at GINA, thank you for watching.